And welcome back to another live stream on a Thursday night. Thanks for joining us tonight, guys. And as you can see, I got the new chair, so there will be no more squeaking. A big thank you to all you super chat guys out there who have supported me over the last few weeks. I really do appreciate it. So tonight's topic is something that Jason and me have been talking about for quite a while. We neither of us really agree with gun control or any form of gun control, really. And it's just something that we just wanted to talk about the complete failure of our gun laws, despite what our politicians and police try and ram down our throats. It's been an absolute failure, of course, the gun laws and gun control. So without further ado, I'll bring Jason in. G'day, Jason. How are you?
What's happening, man? You finally got that new chair. I won't have to hear that squeaking.
No more squeaking.
I won't have to hear it. A lot of beautiful bastards in the chat, so that's good. It's going off at the moment, building each week. Crazy. Who thought, keep building like this. That's great.
Yeah, it definitely has. It's been fantastic. As we keep talking about, we didn't realize this would be such a big hit. It's just unreal, especially when we watch other live streams and they only get like half of what we got each week. So it's been fantastic. So hopefully we can break the record of 140 people tonight in one go. And that made a couple of weeks ago, and 1,500 people watched it that night.
Yeah, no, it's been bloody fantastic. Guys have been pitching in. He finally got that new chair. So goes to the super chatters and all that for organising that. So you guys helped me out with that, so I don't have to, hear that squeaking shit the whole time. So, I was obviously a cheap reject chop chair you had before. So it's good you've actually got a real chair now.
Yeah, it's a lot more comfy. And also, as I said, my microphone's crapped out, and so I had to get a new microphone system, the little Rode one, which is fantastic. You put me onto that one.
So very good little system. Very good little system, easy to use, great to use out in the field, and you should get a lot of use out of that one. And again, just continue with that good audio, because I know about audio. I know about audio.
Yes, exactly. No, it's a great little system, that, but pricey, but I think it's definitely worth it.
Yeah.
So, gun control, tonight's subject. It is going to be very interesting. But before we start, if you guys could hit that subscribe button, give it a thumbs up, and definitely share this video around. I would really appreciate it. That'll be awesome. So the big thing is to subscribe. I'm about to make 6,000 subscribers, which is half of what I had before YouTube took my channel down, and we had to start all over again. So we're about to reach the halfway mark to 12,000. So when we hit 6,000, it's the first sort of milestone. So tonight, gun control, the bane of every shooter.
Yeah.
Before we start, super chat has just come up, 2 guys. So I'll just read those out.
I don't think we're going to get through a show tonight.
Imbram, hi guys, love your channel. Do you think there's any chance of getting semi-autos back? So I'll read that one. I'll read the next one in case it disappears, because things come on and off the screen here. And JR again. G'day, JR. Thank you for supporting us again. G'day, Aaron and Jason. Bring on the frustration. Yes, exactly. Yep. There's going to be a few heated sort of conversations. I don't know about heated, but everyone has a different opinion, and everyone deserves the right to their own opinion, whether it's the same with ours or not. So they all deserve the right. Everyone has different views on this. I don't think there really is a 100% correct view, but we'll soon find out, and we want to see what you guys think. So we'll go to the first one here.
And you got on questions first, or have you looked at? I've got one here. I've got one here. I'll do my one first if you want. So this is one of our regulars, Happy Hunter. He said, "Hi, Jason. I've been told that I'm not allowed to store magazines loaded in my locked ammo box. Is that for real? It makes it hard when I see a fox on my home cameras and have to load a bloody mag, which gives the bastard time to slip away. I'd love to know if you've heard of that law." Now, I always say, listen, if they're going to try and charge you, the best thing to do is email your state's registry, I think, first off, and ask them which law that covers. I know in New South Wales, a lot of people store their bolts separately and their magazines. I've done that. It's no law in New South Wales. Like I said, email your registry, get the information. Don't believe anything we say on the show. But I know in New South Wales, at least for me, I store my bolts inside my guns and the magazines, and that's fully legal to do that because how many times have you forgotten a bolt? How many times have you forgotten a magazine? I know some states don't allow that, so you need to make sure you're checking for your individual state registry what you can and can't do. But again, a lot of these guys, they don't really know the law. I mean, I know a few guys that, rightfully or wrongfully have been charged over the years, and often charges don't come for at least 6 to 12 months after the offence has occurred. The reason that is because a lot of them don't know the law. They need to go back and talk to lawyers and talk to people to find out what the law is before they actually lay charges and lay the correct charges against people. So, the average foot soldier police officer doesn't really know the laws surrounding firearms. They just think, well, there's a breach here. I always say, listen, store your bolts separately when you pull them out of the safe. That way you're going to be able to take them. But I do that all the time when I go hunting. I've got my locked ammo box, finish my hunt for the day. I've got my 3-shot magazine and still I put it in my locked container because the ammunition is locked up. So, again, it's all going to come down to the police officer on the day. And if they believe you've done something wrong, they can take your guns, even if you haven't done anything wrong. This is me and Aaron talk about this a lot. So just be careful. It's always better sometimes to err on the side of caution. Lock up your bolts and your ammo. But the reason I take them out is because if I am going to take the bolt out, I'm doing it right then and there, and I can store it to put it in my vehicle to take with me. If it's in my top safe, how many times have you guys been to a hunt? And it happened to me about 1.5 years ago with my 22. Had no 22 for the trip because I left the bolt at home. So that's when I didn't do it. I left it at home. So anyway, that's Happy Hunter, one of our live stream regulars. So.
Yep, that was a very good question. I do have something to say about it, and we do have another super chat. This is from Cracker. Great name. G'day, guys. Love the show. Very informative. Here's some dollars back for the chair. Thank you very much. I do have a chair, but now I'm paying off the new microphone. So thank you very, very much, Cracker. Appreciate that. We will get to the question next on from our other super chat. But on that one, yes, definitely contact the registry because every state is different. And get everything, and I mean everything, in writing, because I've been told one thing one day and another thing the other day. It's just absolutely ridiculous. They don't know. I don't know if they make up the laws as they go. They're telling you what they want you to hear or don't want to hear or whatever they want to say on the day. It's very conflicting. So definitely in writing, 100%. Me, I break everything up because just don't want to risk it. You just don't want to. You basically don't want the argument with them. If they do come, even though you're in the right, you just don't want the argument with the cops because you're not going to win with them.
Let me say, realistically, though, again, when they come to see your guns, they're not really saying, where's your ammunition? They're not really there to look at that. So you're within your rights to say no to that. They're only there to check the registration and make sure the firearms are actually secure. Now, in New South Wales, Section 19.2 of the Act says they must ring you before they do an inspection. So this is obviously, we're talking about inspections at the moment. They're actually supposed to call. So if they turn up on your door at 8 o'clock at night, you're well within your rights in New South Wales to say, well, no, I've had a couple of drinks tonight. I don't feel comfortable in handling firearms. You need to come back at a time. You're supposed to call. Be pleasant about it. Don't be rude. But if you feel like, it's always good to check. Heaven forbid, you've made an honest mistake of leaving, you've pulled out your guns, a 22 round out of a thing has fallen on the ground. I mean, they can actually lose your license over that. So why give them the opportunity when they haven't called to let them come into your house at a time that has not been agreed to? So, again, I would say no, come back in an hour and I'll be ready. Then you just go make sure everything's secure, which we know we're all law-abiding. We follow the law. But, again, doesn't mean you need to let them in right then and there. Section 19.2 of the Firearms Act, you need to read it and, they must call, and must correspond with you about an arrangement of a meeting time. So just a bit of a tip for you if you're in New South Wales. I don't know about other states because I'm in New South Wales, but
Yeah, well, I hear several ones up here in Queensland, no, you can't have your bolt in, and no, you can't have your magazine in. Then other ones, yes, you can. So you just don't know. Best just to take them out. What I do is have a checklist, every time I go out shooting, because I'm lucky I was only 10 minutes away from the hunting property right around the corner from me. And I got there and I did forget my bolt one night. So I just raced back, grabbed it and came back. And I just have a checklist now. What I take: rangefinder, guns, bolts, magazines, ammunition, just simple stuff, shooting bags, stuff like that. And so I just, there's no chance I can do it again. I actually had one of my clients, he went on a hunting trip and got 3 hours from home and forgot all his bolts, every single one. And so his wife had to drive an hour and a half. He drove an hour and a half back and met in the middle. Well, I think it's a stupid law. I think you should keep your magazines and your bolts together. You don't want them to get damaged either. You don't want your bolt to get damaged. And so that's just why I feel I don't think it's right at all.
Sometimes it's always good just to, err on the side of caution, just because even though you're doing the right thing, you get some overzealous idiot that you can ruin your trip, your trip of a lifetime on the way to a hunt, and take your guns off you, even though you're fully done. By that time, your trip's over. So always good to err on the side of caution. I know guys that put trigger locks. I don't have that many, but put trigger locks on the guns as well, just to, even their Cat A's and B's, just to you look like you're doing the right thing. You know what I mean? And just make sure you're covering all bases. So it's interesting, but there's a lot to talk about tonight. So.
Yeah, we definitely don't have the trigger lock law up here, thank God. But yeah, you're not meant to travel with your bolt and everything in it up here, our magazine. You're definitely not loaded at all. I don't think any state has that where you can have your guns loaded in your safe. So we will go back. I do have Dave's Patreon, but it does not correlate to tonight's subject. So we will get to that later. Just so we'll get to the super chat. Do you think we'll ever get semi-autos back?
Oh, listen, I'd love, of course, we'd love them. I've had them for clay target shooting. It'd be great. I think at the bare minimum now, I mean, we're talking about laws. So I think probably the first priority probably would be, getting rid of appearance laws for number one. Suppressors, obviously most countries use suppressors. So that'd be something. Even in draconian gun law England, they can have suppressors and semi-autos. So, pump shotguns, semi-automatic shotguns as well. So Ruger 1022s, etc. So, that'd be something. I think that's the first priority. Obviously, those probably two are my probably top ones at the moment. We can go for the whole hog later, but I think some of the smaller stuff, I mean, we're not even having any success at the smaller stuff. And me and Aaron spoke on a bunch of occasions just on the last live stream is about these guys cops smashing us after the COVID-19 lockdowns, where we pretty much did stuff all except for the National Shooting Council actually at least trying to go to the state's tribunals, the Firearms Appeals Committee, and they seem to be having somewhat success because the police in Victoria are again trying to throw out the case because gun shops are open then. Well, what's the problem? But, they're still pursuing it, which is absolutely fantastic. So, again, I'm not saying they're the be-all and end-all of any organisation. They're only a new organisation. I chat to Neil a fair bit. Neil's a bit of a polarising figure to some people. Some people don't like him. But at the end of the day, I mean, the rest of them, should hang their heads in shame. They're doing absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. Oh, we're talking behind closed doors. Like, man, if I hear that again, I'm just going to pull my hair out. We said a couple of weeks ago that, if we haven't heard anything from the major organizations within the next 2 to 3 weeks or 4 weeks, them doing something, well, then, they're done. And I guess I was just being fanciful because we knew none of these organizations were going to do anything. I've written thousands of letters, guys, well over 1,000 letters in 10 years. I was a big proponent of sending letters, only to realize they just piss on you and they don't care one single bit. The only way forward is to start legal action and really hitting them where it hurts. Yep, we're probably going to lose 99% of the time. But what else do we do? Keep taking it in the bum from these, people that keep wanting to screw over shooters. Look what happened in WA, 8 guns in one foul swoop. Again, the National Shooting Council aren't even in WA, yet they've got a directions hearing. Neil messaged me about 24 hours ago via email and says the direction hearing's on Friday. They're the only ones doing anything, and they're a party of pretty much 10,000 members. I mean, it's next to nothing compared to the big organisation with hundreds of thousands. So, hopefully they're going to have a good result, man. We'll see what happens. We might have some luck.
Exactly. Yeah, the Shooting Council have really taken the lead on all this and totally embarrassed Shooters Union and WSAA, I say. As I've always said, if you have if your organisation supplies a genuine reason, you will never, ever, ever go hard against the government because you don't want them to change the goalposts on you, and all of a sudden your organisation can't be a genuine reason, and that's where you get your money from. They'll never fight for us. They'll talk the talk, take claims of other people's stuff, as we've seen. And that's pretty much about it. Write a letter because they're upset that we all know that Bishop in Queensland, the government doesn't even get as far as the politicians. So no,
I was going to say, me and Aaron all the time. Well, someone said, not Aaron in this situation, but someone said the other day to me, "Oh, but you do the podcast. You're running ads for the National Shooting Council." I'm like, hell yeah, I'm proud to run ads and take their money to run ads on my platform. Abso-friggin-lutely. Why would I not take money for running ads on my show for people that actually profile them and actually trying to do something? And all I've been seeing online is other organizations shitting on them saying, well, that's not going to do anything. Yeah, okay, maybe not. Maybe it's not going to do anything. But you know what? It's better than doing zero. And people should be embarrassed. These organizations should be absolutely and utterly embarrassed that they've been outshadowed by some small organization. And yeah, if they do something wrong or they don't do something they think that's not appropriate, I've told Neil I'll be certainly saying that and letting him know. So, it's fine by me that I do this show to support shooters, and I'm also happy when people throw money behind my show and people like Aaron's because they actually like what we do and what we talk about and really enjoying the content. So that keeps the shows going. Without the money, we just can't keep going, and it's never been about the money, but you've got to at least make a few dollars so I can actually put it back into microphones and things and chairs and microphones like Aaron's doing. I mean, he spends countless hundreds and thousands of dollars to bring this show to you. So if you like it, we want your support. Doesn't have to be financial. Just throw some links up. Share it on YouTube. Share it on Facebook, Instagram. Share it with your friends. Get the message out. That's more than enough. If you can't, these difficult times of COVID and stuff, you can't afford it, mate, no problem. When no one's expecting people to put their hand in their pocket if they truly can't afford it. And we've never been about that. So, but yeah, I'm happy to support the National Shooting Council until at such time they start being like the other organisations, which I hope doesn't happen. And I'm pretty upfront about that. So,
yes, no, definitely. They've done very well. And Jesus, they even came up here and totally embarrassed our Queensland organisations and fought for Queensland. Well, the other ones just did a big backflip, promised everything and just backflipped. Yeah. But I'm sure this will come up again. Okay, 2 more super chats just arrived. Chris Miller. Thank you very much, Chris. $7.99. WSAA is literally AIDS. Stay well clear. Yes, couldn't agree more. And I think pretty much everyone that follows my show knows that as well. And the other one is Aussie Capitalist. Nice to see you back again. Make Australia pre-1996. Yes, definitely 100%. Thank you very much, Aussie Capitalist, as well. $14.99. Really, really appreciate it. So, as we said, we'll bring those super chats up underneath so everyone can see them when we finally get down to them.
That's if we get down to them based on what we're talking about. We've got heaps to talk about. Maybe this might be a show. Maybe, we'll get 4 to 5 weeks. Maybe we'll address it again to talk more about it because there's so many facets of laws and things we can't do and ridiculous laws. And, I keep saying this is the problem in this country. We've got both the Liberal and Labor Party that really don't like guns. So it's going to be extremely difficult. And getting back to the original question, are we going to get semi-autos? Listen, I'd like to say yes, but the reality is it's probably never going to happen. But I'm full 100% behind it. I'd love to see it. Me and Aaron have this chat all the time, and after 10 years of doing this and writing thousands of letters that I've written, just to be shit on. And in 2020, I'm still getting the same responses back, like, oh, sorry, suppressors are illegal. It's a prohibited item. Yeah, mate, you've been saying that for 10 years and we've had absolutely no inroads. And what do these people think to do? Write letters or see your local member? Yeah, I've done all that, man. I met John Robertson. I've been into, what's his office I've been into? My local federal member, Hugh McDermott, I've been into. But they listen to you. They don't do anything. They don't care. They're just listening to you to get you out of their office. That's it. I've seen this over 10 years. Just doesn't work. We can keep trying. Excuse me. We can keep trying, but it's never, ever going to change by just talking to politicians. You have to have a balance of power and, in essence, have something over the government to get something. That's, horse trading, whatever you want to call it. That's the way politics has been done, for years. The Greens always whinge about horse trading. Yeah, they're the kings of horse trading. That's what happens. You need something from me. Well, I get something in return. But where we failed over the years is giving the government what they want and then them backflipping on what they were supposed to give us, and it never happens, and we never get what we want. So in future, stop being amateurs, our pro-gun parties. Get them to sign on the dotted line and change legislation before you agree with their legislation.
Yes, totally. So we'll get into the topic, the comments in a second. Another super chat, $7.99 from Gray and Coke. Keep up the great work, guys. I always look forward to Thursday nights. Thank you very, very much, Graham. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. So here we go. Shane Gibb. Well, they're controlling us, aren't they? But they will never control the criminals. Exactly. They will they will never come after criminals. It's too bloody hard. It's easier they know where our guns are because registration. We're both very, very anti-registration. Registration leads to confiscation. So it's easy to come after where you know the guns are, except for where the guns aren't. So one thing we must do is get rid of registration.
What does tracking firearms achieve? What does tracking law-abiding people actually do? I mean, if I had it my way, simply when you do basically a criminal check, if someone's going to buy, let's say there was no license, which we'll probably talk about a bit probably in the coming hour. But I mean, let's say we're talking about registration. What does it actually do? Criminals don't register firearms for a start. They don't get licenses. I would say my thing would be there's no registration. Every time you go and buy a firearm, you get a criminal check, such as what they do in the States with an FBI background check, for an example. That way, real-time information is being relayed back. If you're a felon, you simply don't get a firearm. It's simply just as simple as that. And then if you do become a felon, well, then any firearms in your possession will be taken back by the police. And people say, well, what's stopping a law-abiding person from selling a firearm? Well, many things for a start. I mean, if you sell a gun to a criminal and you're a pretty decent bloke, you just want to make a quick $1,000, I think they're going to continually want more firearms off you. And then what happens if you say no? Probably going to get your head caved in. And if they do fine you and they know you're selling guns to criminals, do you think criminals are going to dob you in or dob their mates in? They're going to dob you in because they're not scared of you. They're scared of their biker mates who probably kill them if they rat them. So there's plenty of reasons why this just simply, doesn't work. Hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars. Hence the reason why in New South Wales, amongst other states, they've totally cut resources to registries. Which I think is a good thing. Yeah, the wait times are going to be longer. I'm waiting 8 months for my relicense in New South Wales to get my new license back, to renew. But yeah, like I said, does not work, period. No benefit to registration other than hundreds and hundreds of millions of dollars, well into the billions now, lost for no reason at all when you can't even track a fire. And I've written to them, registries, politicians. What's the benefit? Have you done a public benefit analysis? What's the benefit? What crimes have been solved? Mate, they won't even return your message. They won't even return your emails. Nothing at all. Nothing. No. Because they know it doesn't work. And if not ripping 35% of your workforce out of a registry is not evidence enough that it doesn't work, and I see some of the pro-gun parties wanting more people in registries. Okay, great. Guess who's going to pay for that? Me and you are. Use the pay system, guys. So if you want more people, be prepared to pay hefty fees like they do in WA just to keep their gun licenses and guns over there.
Yes, exactly. And on the gun licensing scam, I think it shouldn't be any licenses. I think it's a total waste of time. It proves nothing. And as you said, I think we should just get a full-on security check every time you want to buy a gun, up to date. They can do it because that's what they do for PTA. So I've talked to weapons licensing, and that's how they told me that's what they do. They check to make sure you have not committed a crime in the last week, and that's all they do. If you haven't, bang, you get your PTA. So yeah, the PTA should be at point of sale, as far as I'm concerned. And gun licenses, all they're good for is for taking your guns, because you cannot own a gun if you don't have a gun license. So if they take that license off you for any bullshit reason that they come up with, you can now not own your guns. So they just take them. So they just can't take your gun for no reason. Just go, oh, I want to take that because we don't want you to have it. But they just can't do that. But if they take your license off you, which is easy because all they got to prove is some bullshit that you're not a fit and proper person, come up with whatever excuse they want, bang, your guns are gone along with it. So that's the only reason you got a gun license. Man, the safety checks are a complete joke. Jesus, when I did mine, there was a guy asleep in the back of the room, and another guy, all he wanted was a machine gun and kept harping on about 50 cals machine guns, an AR-15, and they still gave him a bloody the safety course. And the other guy was asleep and got everything wrong, and they still passed him. The whole thing's an absolute farce, if you ask me.
Listen, I think this is probably where me and Aaron may slightly disagree. Listen, it's a bad system, right? I think what they should do, and it's not adding an extra thing, I just think people should know how to use firearms. I think, it's probably pretty careless to give someone a gun without teaching them. Maybe a mentoring system might work or something along those lines. And, getting with friends, being a mentor system, or, just something, just so people know how to effectively use a firearm. Last thing I want is someone next to me at the range that doesn't know how to use a firearm on his first day at the range, feels a little bit insecure about asking for help and ends up doing something stupid and killing himself or somebody else. I mean, if you kill yourself out of stupidity, well, what do you do? But, if you're killing other people by accident, it's just poor. But I agree on the license. I mean, a license doesn't achieve anything, just a piece of paper that says, oh, this guy can have a gun. Well, okay, why not just do it every time you buy a gun? I just think that's reasonable. And if they do, they come and get the guns off you. It's pretty simple if you're breaking the law. I mean,
I thought about this today, and I think you should no licenses, but you got to do a safety course, even if it's over 2 weekends. A little bit of theory, as we all know, theory goes in one ear, out the other. Mainly practical. You get shown to use all sorts of guns that you can have on your A, B, and H. A thorough test on that, practical, and you're actually shown everything from cleaning to loading to everything. How to use them, how to fix jams. A really, really in-depth, maybe a 2-weekend course like they do in the US for some of their concealed carry stuff. That's what that's like. A little bit of classroom stuff, but more hands-on stuff. Yeah, you get that safe. You pay that money, whatever it is going to be. Shouldn't be a few $100, and you pay that money. You get a safety certificate, and that's for life. So you've passed that course. That's for life, and you can. And it's lodged. And so whenever you go buy a gun, you show your safety certificate saying that you have done it, and then they do a background check there on the spot with a phone call.
And don't forget, when you got people think, oh, well, some people that really, strong, gun advocates will say, oh, well, why should you have to do, training and all that? I mean, when you got concealed carry in the States, I mean, you've got to do a course to get your concealed carry. So again, I think that it's not so much it's more the safety and the training on the range, I think. I mean, and what better way to get experience and actually be on the range with a supervised, qualified instructor that knows what they're doing, and get you actually using the guns. That's the most important. I mean, us guys know that. I probably didn't feel really 100% confident in what I was doing probably the first year and a half. I'm obviously keep things controlled, keep things safe. But now I'm at a point where, things are very easy now. You experience, you get that experience. And being on the range and putting rounds down range, I think, is just really the way to go. And getting them not sitting in a classroom and looking at a gun like they do at some of these safe shooting courses. And maybe you go shoot a 22, you get 5 rounds. Like, be on a range, man. Put things down range. Put people through drills, moving targets, things like get them doing it. There's nothing better than doing an experience.
Yeah, exactly. And when we did our practical side of it, it lasted for 5 minutes. They just brought out a 22 lever action. The bloke loaded it. Everyone got 2 shots and you pass it down the line. That was it. And they brought out a shotgun, double barrel. We all had a shot of that. And half the people were too scared to use it, so they didn't even shoot it. And everyone still passed. So, complete waste of time, and it needs to be readdressed. But it's a money-making scam, and that's it. Remember, it's all about money. And so we will jump into the next question. Here's a new listener. I haven't viewer. I haven't seen him on here before. So take it away, Jason. This is a 2-parter as well.
Everett, he says, I think gun control should always be a thing. I just think semi-auto guns should be less restricted and held at police stations. gun shops and booked out when you want to use it. Respectfully, I just 100%, 1000% disagree with that. The reason, again, he goes on to say, not because you can't trust the gun owner, but they're stolen. They can cause some massive dramas for the community. See, this is someone, I don't mean any disrespect. This is probably a lovely guy, but, again, he's got it just all wrong. There's what would be stopping somebody that's a criminal from getting their gun license tomorrow, getting guns within the 3 to 4 month period, and then pretending that his gun safe has been broken into and people have stolen about 20 guns out of his gun safe if he puts 20 permits to acquire in. Again, it's ridiculous. Keeping them at police stations, one, it's not practical. Two, who's going to pay for it? Of course, we're going to have to pay for it if that's the case. Police are inept at the moment with even dealing with firearms. They, generally aren't very well trained in the use of firearms. We've seen this on many occasions where they've shot innocent bystanders. Hornsby, the Lint Cafe siege. Need we go on? Sorry, I just totally 100% disagree. There's no benefit to controlling good people who have been vetted through a criminal record process check. I'm sorry, there's just no benefit to that. And if they are stolen, how are they going to wreak havoc to the community compared to other firearms? Normally pistols are the preferred method of criminals because they're easily concealable. Yet we still have pistols in this country, thankfully, which is a good thing.
Well, that's no disrespect to him, but completely wrong track, totally and utterly. Having everything in one place, we know the registration is just a shopping list for criminals. It's ended up in criminals' hands. They've even found here in Queensland, I think it was, with names with handgun owners ticked off, and they've all been burgled. So it's been sold by.
We kind of feel bad now because Leverett's given it the super chat.
Oh, no. Just thank you so much for $20. It is an alternative to what we have now. Hey, everyone's entitled to their opinion. Thank you very much, Leverett. Really appreciate the money. Hey, you're entitled to your opinion, 100%. There is, everyone's allowed to say what they feel and have their opinion on it. I think everyone will have a different view on a lot of things we're going to talk about tonight, but thank you very, very much. But going back to his question was, I know, I'm not going to say which pistol club it was, but I've talked to a guy who was on the committee of a pistol club, and their safe was ram raided by a bobcat. And all the pistols gone. Everyone's pistols that were stored in there. Hundreds of pistols gone, just like that, into criminals' hands because they're all centrally stored. Man, a well-organised crime syndicate, if the police stored it, imagine the facility. It would have to be massive. There's over 1 million shooters, probably 2 million shooters in Australia. They can't even tell us the exact number of how many gun licenses there are. That ill-informed and so poorly run. Imagine the facilities. There'll be Bunnings and Bunnings and Bunnings size facilities everywhere. A well-organised crime syndicate could take that out overnight. They can't have enough staff to overrun a whole heap of guys. Surely not.
And how many people you're going to have on site defending thousands of firearms in, say, Western Sydney, Southwest Sydney, Central Sydney, Northern Sydney? What's it going to be? What's the security? It costs billions, man. I don't think he's just thought, the complexities through that. If a thing like that was knocked over, am I going to be insured? Who's going to take responsibility if they're damaged? It's just not feasible at all. We even seen just the other day that they're losing track of firearms left, right, and center. They don't have them on their database. I'm hearing stories from my dealer where things are wrong. Information is wrong. Serial numbers are wrong. Guns going missing altogether that they can't control or track. In 2020, I'm just looking at the New South Wales Dealers Association now, and finally, New South Wales, I guess, finally to a bit of a negative as well. They're actually going to overhaul their paper-based system in 2020, a paper-based system, just unbelievable, and put a portal in. It's going to be through the dealers. So again, what's going to happen with that? So basically, that's going to be a form of basically Scott Morrison was talking about it, basically like a national-style registry. So if they want to make sure everything's uniform across states, do you think they're going to give us, Queensland's gun laws where we can have gel blasters and which is probably one of the better states, or Northern Territory Territory, for an example, or are they going to give us WA's gun laws where it costs hundreds and hundreds of dollars each year, hundreds of dollars to acquire firearms? Like what was it, 1 year licenses? All this sort of crap's ridiculous. And who's going to pay for it? Like, again, we've got to think this stuff through properly and come up with real world ideas. And just because a semi-automatic gets into the community doesn't mean it's any more dangerous than any other particular firearm if in the hands of the wrong person. If it's in the hands of a good person, it's not a threat. What about all the people that didn't hand their guns in during the buyback, that are sitting in their roofs, the quote unquote grey market? Those firearms never hurt anyone, then they won't be intended to use against anybody. So again, I just, it's good. We've all got opinions, and, we want to, be respectful as we possibly can. But, again, hopefully, Aaron, we can, lever it over to our side with a bit of, good factual information, and, see if we can come over the dark side.
Yes, we'll fix you, Leverett. And thank you so much for your donation. It does go on, and he is 100% correct here. Remember, gun control is serial numbers and recording of who owns what. Exactly. You are 100% right there. And that is where the problem lies. It's no one's goddamn business and what I have in my home, my private property. It's not the police's business. It's not the government's business at all, or what I own in my house. And same with you guys. So, yep, you are correct there, 100%. And we just got another super chat from Imbram again. In your opinion, what state has the best gun laws? Got to say, probably Queensland and Northern Territory, I'd say, even though we got a lot of shit laws here in Queensland.
I mean, in New South, we'll put it this way. Let's just this sink in. We consider, I can own a 50 cal BMG. This is the stupidity we're talking about. I could own a 50 BMG in New South Wales, but I can't own a gel blasting toy that is marketed for kids. If this doesn't just wake people up, I don't know what's going to. The ridiculousness of that alone is just it's retardation level 5,000, and this is how dumb politicians actually are. Some people say, listen, we need to get more pro-gun people into the major parties. Maybe that's an option too. Start getting a lot of pro-gun people into major parties such as Labor and Liberal to try and swing the idea of gun laws. But, as we all know, John Howard's the prodigal son. So, long after he's dead, they'll still be crowing about John Howard's gun laws, and Port Arthur year after year after year after year. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Oh, yeah, but there is pro-gun people in Parliament right now, and they just toe the line. They don't upset the apple cart because they don't want to lose their big, fat, cushy jobs. They just got to shut their mouth and say, yep, gun bans are good. Even just don't touch my guns, hopefully, because they don't want to stuff up their paycheck. It's all about votes. That you can take stuff away, but they're never going to give us stuff back. They're never going to give us semi-autos back. Not in a million years. That's political suicide for them coming out. Look what happened to David Linehelm. Very pro-gun, wanted the NFA gone. That's another subject. The NFA should be gone. It's an absolutely ridiculous thing. It's just literally holding a gun to every state's head because they want to get the GST money. Queensland wasn't going to have the NFA, and they were told, you either sign it and fall in line, or you don't get the GST kickback money. So that is a form of extortion, if you ask me.
I knew when we were in serious trouble when we had parties in New South Wales, basically, probably when I started podcasting, 2011, probably around 2014, 2015, I started to realize these people really didn't believe in having semi-autos. They really didn't believe. They want more registry staff, things like this. And that's when I started to believe that a lot of these parties really didn't believe in, even the pro-gun ones, this is what I'm talking about, really didn't believe in the same things that I actually believed in, and started to make it about getting votes, and started, expanding their client base, or their voter base, I should say. And, it was just sad that it went away from the sport to about keeping your job and about getting more of your mates into Parliament, and really not doing anything, about gun laws. I mean, things like that, it's very, very sad indeed. And, I support some of them, but not others, unfortunately, because of things they've said, things they've done, and I won't vote for them if they're not, I'm reasonable to a certain degree, but if they start saying things about, we don't want certain styles of firearms or certain gun laws are good, sorry, I just can't get behind that. I'm really sorry. I just can't get behind that. And you'd never get my vote, regardless of whether you think, is there someone else to vote for? Well, that's my choice to vote who I want to vote for. You don't own my vote. I vote for whoever I think is going to be the best person. It was actually really sad when David Leyonhjelm just missed out on getting back into Parliament. It was very, very sad. One of the only proper pro-gun people that was actually in Parliament, actually fighting and trying his best. Yep, he wasn't as effective either. That's just the reality of the game. We need hundreds of pro-gun people to actually make a difference. That's why I keep saying politically, 24 years we've been doing this, and let's say we've got, Shooters and Fishers, the LDP, One Nation, not really, to a certain degree, I guess. What have we got? 13 or 14 pro-gun people, if you call them that. Of those 14, I might consider 2 or 3 of them to be actually pro-firearm. I mean, is that all we've got? 14 people in almost 25 years. I mean, that's a failure. That's a failure to capitalize on getting people to vote for you. So if we fail to get a political level, the only way is a legal level. That's the only way I see forward, is getting to a legal level to pursue changes and pursue any bans that may rise or any restrictions that pop up. Every time we fight every single issue, every one of them in the tribunal. If it's got to be cheap as possible through tribunals, that's the cheapest way to do it. Yeah, let's tie up the government in tribunals. Let's do it.
Yep, exactly. 2 things on that. Before we really do have to get into some of these questions, is now, didn't Fisher and Shooters, the fake pro-gun party, come out and say that they're not going to fight for any more gun laws or anything? They're going to concentrate on farmers' rights and stuff like that. Didn't they say that in New South Wales not long ago?
I've been hearing, but what I do want to see is these parties actually stepping up, but they just don't agree with it. They just don't agree with the sort of stuff that I agree with. So that's fine. They're entitled to their opinion. Like other parties, all parties are entitled to their opinion on what they want to fight for. So congratulations to them. But and they've obviously succeeded in capitalizing on the farmers' vote. But again, this is a gun channel. I'm a gun podcast. Aaron is a gun channel. I'm only interested in firearms. There's plenty of other people out there about water rights and farming that I don't know anything about that. So I don't want to, it's not my area of, not say expertise, but area of what I like to talk about. So, that's up to them to continue with what they're doing. But yeah, it's a bit of a shame that, the original founder of the party, who was a really, really good guy and did some really good things, especially surrounding public land hunting in New South Wales, and especially around the self-defense, John Tingle, the founder of the Shooters Party in New South Wales, did some really good things. And he was only one guy that was able to achieve some really, really good things for New South Wales, especially around public land hunting. A very, very stellar effort from John Tingle. And then, unfortunately, the party's been reduced to, a rubble under the current administration. So hopefully they learn and come back to the fold of guns and trying to change some things. But, I don't hold my breath. I don't see that happening because, again, you just got to ask the one question. What's the one question you need to ask? What legislation have you tabled onto the floor of Parliament, win or lose? That's the biggest question. And the answer often is none.
Exactly. So next question from Colin Penfold. Gun registration does not work. Someone changes their address, doesn't tell the registry, the system breaks. Exactly. And here's a 2-parter. There is one class, I think, most useless, class C, or C class, is pointless, should be absorbed into A class. And funny thing, you can use a handgun, or H, which is a handgun, class for recreational hunting in New South Wales, but you need a medical. Yeah, that is an old one, but good luck in ever letting them actually do that. If they see you as a disabled person, not being able to use a rifle, really, what are the chances they're going to say, yeah, taking a concealable weapon, not a problem? I really don't see them finally coming to the party on that one myself, and couldn't agree more about Cat C. Well, every category is completely useless if you ask me, but this is the biggest chance we probably got, is bringing Cat C into Cat A and B. Is probably a really good big push that should be happening. Because, man, semi-auto 22, semi-auto, no shotguns, really. come on, every other country in the world, as you said, even England can have it, and they're notoriously bad for gun control as well. I don't really know who's worse, Australia or England. At least they can have suppressors, semi-auto 22s, semi-auto shotguns, and they can have AR-15s converted into a straight pull and button release, so one step away from semi-auto.
Remember,
at least they can have that.
That's why they're smart enough that they've figured out that instead of paying you, well, they'll probably pay you if they ban a firearm, but that's how they've done it. They've thought, well, if we want to take the guns off people, what's the best way to do that, right? So instead of getting around the law, they just make it, instead of a category A and B, they know if they put it into category C and D that 99% of people aren't going to be able to have it. And that, in effect, ruins the business for that firearm, because why, if you're a category C or D firearms owner or license holder, why would you buy a Adler Adler lever action? You'd actually buy a 5-shot pump shotgun or semi-automatic shotgun. Why would you buy something that's not trying to be a semi-auto, but which is, a lever action, which is probably an inferior style of action compared to, at least for a shotgun, compared to, your semi-automatic shotguns and your pump action shotguns. So it just ruins the whole business for that company. Who's going to buy, levers when you can actually get the real thing? Stupid. But that's their new insidious way of screwing you over. Just reclassify. Again, yep. NFA screwing shooters again since 1996. Smart. Very insidious, very smart.
Exactly. And here you go, Jason. There's one.
All right, let's have a look at what we got. Captain Caveman, why can't we all run to the same firearms Australia-wide? Not this bullshit. Let's make up our own rules state to state. All shooters need to come forward and band together. Listen, it's a tough one now, man, because are we going to get the good gun laws or are we going to get the bad gun laws? And they're never going to give you the good ones, man. Like, we all know that. Are all states going to be able to agree? Again, probably not. They can't even agree now on COVID-19 lockdowns. New South Wales didn't lock down their gun shops. Mate, I just don't think it's going to happen. I think to make everything fall, I think what we need to do is just get one state to abandon the agreement, the National Firearms Agreement. And, I think then it may be a potential of toppling it over from there on in. But we need one state. I know Queensland was very, very adamant they weren't going to do it, but then they got blackmailed by the government, for funding. And if you don't do this, well, you're not going to get the money. So, of course, like any politicians, they rolled over like fat rats,
Exactly. Well, I just couldn't agree more with you, what you just said. That's for sure. But unfortunately, if we do have one statewide, it ain't going to be the best of every state. It's going to be the worst of every state. That's for sure. Like New South Wales, for example, aren't going to say, oh, yeah, okay, foldable stocks and collapsible stocks, we can have those now. They're not going to backtrack on that. They're going to want every state to have no folding or collapsible stocks. So unfortunately, in some ways, I guess it's better that we don't have uniform laws. In some ways, I guess. Yeah. It does suck being in your state, where you can't have a lot of stuff, and we can't have stuff up here, which sucks as well. Like, we can't have 50 cals. Yeah, I'm going to go and spend 30 grand on a really good 50 cal and spend $25 a shot to go and commit a crime. Oh yeah, and go through and get my gun license as well. So it's it's just doesn't work for me. We can't have the same laws, unfortunately, because we're all going to miss out. Basically, shooters just come to Queensland and live, and we'll swap you for the greenies here in hippies. I think that's a fair trade. Imran again for another super chat. There's a third one. Thank you so much. $7.99. What if no one handed in their guns in 96? What would they have done? Very, very good question. I wonder that all the time. I reckon they'd just come and kick yours down and crack heads, basically, wherever they could find them. Because they did. This is the thing. Just before this all happened, they started saying voluntary registration. You got to get a gun license. You don't have to, but it'd be good if you could have a gun license. So they slowly brought this in just before the big scam of the Port Arthur buyback or steelback or whatever you guys want to call it, unlawful gun grab.
Remember, the police can do whatever they want. They can breach or break whatever law they like. They won't be held to account, guys. Remember, they have an unlimited amount of funds to bankrupt you. Never forget that. There was a guy, and if people email me, I'll send you a link, that was talking about when he was on YouTube, a former, he cleaned his life up. He's got a YouTube channel, and he talks about the different type of, screws like in jails. There's 5 different types when he was actually in prison. And one of the best things I've ever watched, and talks to you about the types of people that work in these types of professions, and some of the good ones and some of the bad ones, and how that affects people moving forward, and why people now are pretty anti-police these days. Communities are turning to anti-police. Look what's happening in America, for an example, against the police and wanting to defund the police. And some of it, is valid, not so much defunding the police, but making sure police are going through the checks. They're getting the right people, not power-hungry dickheads that just want to do whatever they think they want and smash and break people's heads in, and think they're not going to be prosecuted by the law. So, again, we need to get back to good policing practices, respecting the citizens, because at the end of the day, we pay their bills, but now they see it as the opposite, that they dominate us and we do exactly as they want, and heaven forbid you have any rights. I mean, you just got to see some of the videos and see what's going on. But anyway.
Exactly. So, Lever, again, we will just answer another question of his, because this is one that I was actually going to say, a bit of a topic I thought about. The government is too scared now to be the ones that allow semi-autos to be easier accessed by the general populace, in the fear that they will be blamed for the next Port Arthur if it occurs. Exactly. They were all just scared that something will go wrong underneath their watch. No matter what, bad things are going to happen with bad people. You're not going to stop human behavior. People are bad people. So
I always said, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, and I've said this for years on the podcast, let's say they're crazy. Oh, you know what? I can't get that pump shotgun today. I can't kill a bunch of people. Oh, okay, well, I'm just normal again. I'm just going to go to work and just continue on with my daily life. No one thinks I can't get access to a semi-auto, therefore I'm cured of my mental illness in wanting to kill a bunch of people. I mean, it's just ridiculous. They'll use whatever methods they deem necessary. And, people say, well, we haven't had shootings. Well, we have. We've had, the Darwin shootings. We've had the issues with Man Monis, how he got access to a pump-action shotgun. We had the Lockhart murders down here in New South Wales. We had the Margaret River murders in WA. We had the guy that killed his whole family in Borkham Hills. He killed his two children. They were teenagers because of a breakdown in the marriage. He went and got his pistol license. He went even to the range here at St Mary's in Western Sydney and wanted to become a member. Thankfully, they turned him away. He had to have a commissioner's permit to be able to shoot, which means he'd obviously done something wrong for the commissioner to allow this guy to shoot. And what did he do? He used his legal, law-abiding firearms to kill his family. The guy in Lockhart who killed his whole family, the farmer from near Wagga Wagga, legal firearms, he killed his whole family. The guy in Margaret River, he was the legal firearms owner. He killed his family members. I mean, the guy in Darwin obviously wasn't licensed and had a pump shotgun. And 99% of people that do commit these crimes are unlicensed. But let me get this straight. It doesn't stop bad people doing the wrong thing. And it doesn't stop people with good people or that turn bad with licenses from doing the wrong thing. So it doesn't stop anybody from doing the wrong thing. So again, it's stupid to assume that someone has firearms, they're not going to do anything wrong. In the very, very limited times that it does happen, it's a very, very sad event. But there's nothing stopping anyone, people that are even watching the stream, from using their firearms for negative purposes. So again, obviously 99.9% of us don't do that, obviously, but it doesn't. What my point of this whole situation is that it doesn't stop bad people doing bad things, and doesn't stop bad people that originally had good intentions from doing bad things either. So what is the point of this whole situation? It just doesn't work. Constant upgrades when you buy firearms. Bad things are going to happen. There's nothing you can do to stop that. New Zealand had 7 deaths per year from firearms until the Christchurch shooting. And all of a sudden now, in almost 27 years of having their last shooting, they change all these laws for absolutely no reason whatsoever.
And there was a big reason. It was for buying votes. That was it. And she was funded basically by the Greens, that old horseface, Ardern. So we will jump into one, and this is something that we both agree with, our old mate Explosive. Take it away, Jason.
All right, we want semi-autos back, concealed carry. Yeah, I mean, look at South Africa. I've done a bunch of interviews with people from South Africa, and pretty much they've got a very long, arduous process, safes, people vouching for you, all these types of things. But once they go through that process, normally about 8 to 12 months, they can pretty much own whatever they want. Semi-automatics, concealed carry, you name it, they can pretty much have it over there. But like when I speak to them, they do tell me, listen, if you're going to use a firearm, you better make sure it's in the right circumstances and you're 100% within your rights, because if you don't, they're going to bankrupt you and send you to prison if you use your firearm when you shouldn't have. So yeah, just food for thought. They can own ARs. They got self-defense. Again, another great country. I hope to travel there someday to South Africa.
Yes, definitely. Concealed carry. I'm a big advocate for self-defense. It is the first and most important basic human right that we all have, is to defend your life and the life of innocence and your family and your property. So I definitely think, concealed carry, you would watch crime plummet if you had concealed carry. All these druggos wouldn't know who could bloody end their life when they try and mug them. So definitely concealed carry is a must, and we should all have it. Once again, very strict training procedures should be in place like they do overseas, and definitely it would help. But the government will never let us do it. They'll never. Geez, imagine a government who came and said, concealed carry, yep, for our state, awesome. You can all be concealed carry, just do this course. And it wouldn't get passed, but B, if it did, man, that'd be the end of their political career.
You got a super chat too, man. Another one.
Dad, this is from Kung Fu Chef. What would happen? Chief. Sorry. Yeah, only got one working eye. What would happen? Oh no, Jesus, just disappeared. He said, what would happen if a criminal used a semi-auto and he was non-licensed in a crime? There is no law or nothing that the politicians could bring in to stop that. And yes, they could not do that. There's nothing. It had happened here. A police officer was gunned down, executed in cold blood with a full auto machine gun, not far from where I live. In broad daylight, run off the road. He dragged out and executed in the face with a full auto. And just ridiculous. You're not going to stop these sort of people. You can't stop these guys.
Yep. You got another super chat from our mate JR again.
Yep, JR, my brother has a sleep apnea condition on his driver's license. He had to get a medical certificate to prove he wouldn't fall asleep while shooting on his Queensland shooter's license. Ridiculous. Oh, Jesus Christ. Yep, I think shooting would be probably one of the least things you'd do falling asleep.
Yeah. Ridiculous. This is what they try and do again, create all these laws. I mean, can you imagine we pay them to treat us like this? We pay them to treat us like this. Remember, they don't respect citizens. They don't respect. That's why America is one of the last best countries in the world. The Constitution, just what brilliant forefathers fought and put into law to protect their freedom. Epic, absolutely epic. And, Australia thinks this is a free country. Well, it's not really, to be brutally honest with you. And anyway,
definitely.
Let's crush a few more questions.
Yeah, thank you very much for the $10 super chat. JR, really appreciate it. Okay, I'm sorry if I'll skip some of these, only because I've answered a few questions from these guys. I want to get down to some more people.
Yep.
And it just did it again. It jumped a shitload. Okay.
Have you got Farm Boy at 6:49?
Yeah, read Farm Boy out. I haven't got that.
Okay. You must have lost him again, did you?
Yeah. Yep. I am up to 734.
Oh, shit. There's heaps there. All right. Farm Boy says, just get that one off the screen for a sec so we can... Farm Boy, hey guys, keep up the good work. What are the rules on ammo storage in Queensland? And do you know if they approve more than one PTA a month in the same category on the same license? You might know about that. I've never seen any issues with more than one permit being approved on the same category. There's no limits in New South Wales, but what about Queensland?
What was it again? You're getting more than one gun on a license?
Yeah, for more. Do they approve more than one PTA in the same category, in the same license, in more than a month, like more than one a month?
Yeah. I brought I think 3 or 4 handguns in one go once. Put all the PTAs in. I put in PTAs for 6 rifles last year that I reviewed. That was linked to me by someone, and they had to go into my name because you had to be in a personal's name. And I put in PTAs for 6 rifles at once. Yes, you can. Yep. They only try and stop you in Queensland when you get to rifle number 29, and you have 29 handguns and 29 rifles before they want you to upgrade to security.
Yeah, Mick Beckers has got a good one. What about COVID restrictions and the lowering of participation rates for Cat H because people can't get to the range? Basically, they are saying mandatory participation is useless. Let's get rid of it. Yeah, mate, 100%. I mean, we do more shooting on pistol licenses than the police do. Yet, if you put a badge on your shoulder with a blue T-shirt, oh, yeah, that guy's experienced. He knows all that female. They know what they're doing because they're wearing a police uniform. Often they can't shoot at all, and we've seen them. On multiple occasions, shooting innocent people because they've missed the target. Like, yeah, sure, it's dangerous, people running at them. They don't know what they're doing, and they're just very, very untrained. They need to up their training, but, budgetary restraints. We've got basically police officers that are gung-ho, that don't know how to handle a firearm, pointing firearms in the street, that just don't have any experience. I just can't believe they're shooting once a year at a static target. No moving targets, no nothing. And I know that because I've got a friend who's a detective, so I know this. And she hasn't done a thing for 14 months the last time I spoke to her. So,
well, here's a good thing about them not knowing absolutely anything. This is a story that happened to me. I was shooting on a property, and some idiot neighbour, we'll call her Karen. She phoned up the police saying I had a full auto machine gun and all this sort of stuff. Well, we'd finished shooting. We're having dinner with the farmer, the landowner, and the cops just walked into the front door because we couldn't hear them. They opened the door and walked into the private property, started demanding and standing over all of us, saying, who's got the guns? Who's got the machine gun? They're wearing bulletproof vests and everything and carrying on like chest beating. And we just said, hey, settle down. No one's got a machine gun. What are you talking about? Oh, we're taking this seriously. We all got our bulletproof vests on. And they started getting real uppity. And I said, okay, I was shooting a lever action and a pump action rifle. Oh, pump action. We got you, mate. You're under arrest. We got you. And I said, it's a pump action rifle, 223. It's not a shotgun. Nah, pump action. That's a law. It's illegal. We're going to have to arrest you. So come on, mate. You phone up someone who knows what they're talking about. I'll show you the guns. So I went up there, showed them the lever action and the pump action. Gets the lever action. I'd already had the breech open, just broken. He gets it, looks down the barrel. First thing the cop does, looks down the barrel of the gun and couldn't figure out how the lever part worked. And so I had to show him. I said, never look down a barrel of a gun, mate. And he had no idea, got the pump action, was waving it around everywhere, thought he was bloody John Wayne, didn't even know how to open up the pump action at all. Had no idea how to open up the pump action. But it was just dumbfounded. The police looking down the barrel of a gun. It's just absolutely ridiculous. And then they realised that they phoned up, the guns were legal, and the person on the other end of the line said that he had all his laws wrong and he didn't know what he was talking about, and they went on their merry way.
Yep.
After lecturing me about shooting.
Yeah. So we've got Mick Beckers. He said, is that the new chair, Aaron? Yes, it is. Funky Mate said, oh, the new chair. Jason will be happy. Yes, very happy I am, actually, that he got that new chair, that squeaking. Mate, you know what you should do? Shoot that chair next time. Blow it up. Do whatever you got to do. Strap it with some of those butane canisters and do whatever you got to do. All right. Now, mates, oh, no. Did I just lose it too? Oh, I lost it too. I couldn't believe it. I just went down and it lost it too. This StreamYard, guys, I don't know what's happening. You need to email them and find out if this is a major issue. So I'm at 7:36 p.m.
Okay, I'm at 7:34. Okay, guys.
One of the last ones, Chris Miller said, take people to the range and if they're anti-gun and they'll see how good it is. But Chris, if you're listening, mate, Your AHP stickers are in the mail today, so let me know if you get them.
Sweet. Well, guys, if we missed your question, just get down and ask it again, and we'll get to it. That's for sure. Okay, so we'll go down here for some of these.
Sorry, guys. It's just this bloody system. You know what I mean? Listen, if I'm listening, you know what I might be able to do, Aaron? Might just flick back to the live stream, and I might be able to do it 7:29. Let me just have a look.
Make sure your volume's down. I'll answer this question here from Darren Harvey. When I last renewed my license, there were 2 rifles still registered to me that were sold 12 months ago. There we go. The registration failed yet again. 12 months sold, absolutely pathetic. And we pay these clowns for this. We pay for this privilege of them unable to keep their records straight. That is absolutely ridiculous. And you do hear this sort of thing time and time and time again about guns that aren't there or guns they brought and it's still not even on the registry. And it's been months. They brought them months and months earlier and it still isn't showing up. This, to me, is not good enough. You're paying for a system and the system can't provide it. So there should be something in place to fix this entire mess. Jason, you are mute.
Yeah, sorry, guys. Just muted. Dave Decker Hex 706. He said, "What's the odds?" It's a good one. What's the odds of the National Shooting Council could win the WA reclassification at the tribunal? Perhaps even repeal the appearance laws. I mean, mate, got to do something. Got to hope for the best. I mean, like I said, these other useless organisations doing absolutely zero. Telling you they're representing you behind closed doors or were working behind the scenes. I mean, yeah, bullshit to all that. You know, you're not fooling us anymore. We've given them 10 years to step up, and they just haven't done so. So, mate, I hope it's going to work. I mean, if it doesn't, we just keep trying, mate. Keep tribunal, keep going, keep taking them to, keep making them accountable. What do we do if they're not going to be accountable? If we don't take them to the tribunal, they're just going to keep doing it and go, well, no one's stopping us. Let's just go further. So at least now they're on notice that we're not going to put up with their bullshit anymore.
Yep, exactly. So here's what we'll do, Jason. I'll read one that I can see. You read one that we've missed out. If you're not there on your screen.
They're all over the place here, so I'm just going to, as I see a good one, I'll read it. Sorry if I missed out, guys. I mean, if you want it, I'm not going to say super chatted, but if you're on there, if you want to get it to the top, that's the best we can do because this is a bit of a failed system at the moment. So
Nick Glass, I think it's an important thing to remember that criminals have many different ways to get guns illegally, not just stealing from gun owners. The focus should be on criminals, not legal gun owners. Exactly. Crims have lots of ways. They make them, they import the parts. I know I've heard stories of them importing them. They've been caught by importing them in importing scrap metal containers. And there's gun parts in it. I think a police officer once told me they caught a guy with hundreds and hundreds of handgun parts in a big container full of scrap metal. So these criminals, they're not stupid. They have amazing ways of sneaking things in. And every one you find, you probably found there's probably hundreds that have gotten through. Just like all those Glock guns that were being posted for years through Australia Post. and finally they found one. They found one packet of a few guns, and it came out that there was been happening for years. Actually posted. They're fully assembled. They're just brought out a gun shop overseas and put in the mail.
But hang on, you need to tackle law-abiding people. Registration, guys. Yeah, they're importing 120 illegal Glock handguns through the post office. Unbelievable.
Exactly.
David Curte's got a good one. Important question for you guys. Can we store our handguns in the lockable ammo shelf in our rifle safe in Queensland? I think it's okay, provided, again, email your registry, provided it's a legal Cat H safe. I know I've got a safe. I think it's a Spiker. It's got ammo in the top, a pistol compartment below that, and then the full rifle gun safe in the bottom. Because I know that in New South Wales, there's restrictions on the thickness of the safe for a pistol safe. That's got to be the right thickness. So make sure if normally when you go to the gun shop, they'll tell you if it's category A, B, C, D, and H. And if it is, then you should be okay as far as I'm aware. But again, don't take my word for it. Check your registries.
Yeah. Yep. Definitely. So what else do we have here? I'll just pick another one, Jason. I'll go through some of these.
I think you've got a super chat, man, from our buddy Bagara HMR Explosive. Is you showing?
Yes. Yes, just came in. Yep. Thank you very much. Explosive, $5. I got a letter from SSAA to vote 4 out of 6 candidates in Victoria election. Here's my vote for them.
Yeah.
Yep. Good stuff. Yep. Mate, they're all worthless. All those guys in the organisations. Basically, the two main organisations aren't worth a pinch of salt. So, yep, thank you very much for that, Explosive Bagara.
Hey, here's a good one too, and I find this is something Mike Loader. If you remember, me and Aaron did a live stream with Mike Loader, and I don't want to get onto the immigration route, but this is a very, very good question. And David Smith says, do you guys think replacement immigration is that to firearms ownership? And I'm not sure what you mean by that, but I know a lot of guys are pretty unhappy in New Zealand that I speak to, that people that have basically transplanted, immigrated into their country are now the same people that have been given citizenship, right? So, in some countries, when like I know a lot of Asian shooters, they love their pistol shooting because in a lot of Asian countries, you can't actually own a firearm. So they love it. But then you have people from other parts of, say, the Middle East where firearms are used as a tool of oppression. So they're sort of scared of firearms, where you have different cultures in regards to different firearms ownership they can have in their country. And what they're upset about is the fact that people are immigrating to their country now having a say on the fabric of gun ownership in New Zealand. And they're not really happy about that. And I can actually understand that and agree with that, because how can you offer somebody to come to your country to take on the culture, to take on the current system, only then when there's a shooting or something happens to then turn against the people of New Zealand and then side with gun control and actually have the power to change gun laws in New Zealand? Like, it's a very, very valid question. And a lot of people are very unhappy with this, especially the ones I speak to in New Zealand that transplant people that weren't born there, coming into their country, dictating and being very strong advocates for gun control, ruining the fabric of the country. So I can sort of understand that. It's a very disappointing that people come to your country for a better way of life, only then to turn against you and then take away what you love, and they're not even born in that country. So yeah, I agree with that. I think it's terrible. And, if you're going to come to a country, you take on all the traditions, and you shouldn't be, I believe you've been given a second chance, and, being massively political and changing the fabric of the country. I mean, if you want that, you're better off going back to the shithole you came from, instead of trying to change current laws in the country and trying to change it to what you think it should be based on where you've come from. I mean, I'd just be happy to be in a country that, I'm not going to get shot. I'm not going to get shot at or killed for my religious beliefs or what I believe in. So you've been given a second chance. I mean, I think these people need to settle down a bit and sort of just be happy with what they're being given in a free country.
Yeah, I'm on the other side of it. I wasn't born in Australia, and I want to change gun control as well. I want to scrap it.
Well, I hear you now.
Yeah. I got one here.
The right thing for a good reason, because we know it doesn't work. This is the opposite of taking away people's businesses and livelihoods of rangers and gun shops and all this sort of thing. These people just don't care. So I don't know. Maybe let us know what you think in the comments, whether we're on track or off track. Let us know.
Exactly. So this is from Adrian Lewis. If someone breaks into my house and I use my firearms in defence, am I really in the wrong? Well, yes, you are. Yeah, because they're not made for self-defense. And knowledge is that only to be used for vermin control, target shooting. Should be allowed for home protection. Exactly. Now, what they do, I've been explained to this. So if they want to know, okay, if your life was in danger, how did you go open your safe? How did you go open up another safe for a lockbox for your magazine, another one for your bolt, and then another one for your ammunition, load that gun, and then have time to react? That's how they're going to get you. Also, they get you on, another sneaky way is, did you have the option of getting away? This doesn't even come down to guns, but if you attack someone in your home, I don't call it attacking at all, it's called defending, standing up for yourself in your home with anything, they will say, did you have the means of getting away? And if you had a sliding door or an external door in your bedroom, you could have run away like that. And that's another way they ping you for defending your life. So unfortunately, Australia is one of the only countries in the world where the victim becomes a criminal.
Yeah. From one from Ibrahim here, he says, this looks like people are catching on to the uselessness of SSAA. He goes, they're pretty useless. And then a friend Aussie Capitalist says SSA are about as useful as an unloaded firearm. Like, I wish they could be better, man. I really do. But they just constantly disappoint, mate. The old fuddy-duddies in there just got to go, mate. They've got to go. There's a total revamp of the organisation. And, yeah, there are some good people in there, don't get me wrong, but unfortunately they're overshadowed by the absolutely fucking terrible people, and it's a personality war. Everyone's trying to take over and, coup the branches and take over a branch and take over the state. And, it's just a cluster. It's really a cluster. You can add the last word onto there, you know what I mean? So...
And also, they also fight amongst each other, the other organisations, because it's a pissing contest. They all want to be number one. They want to be able to say, "We did this, not you. We did it," even though they don't do anything, and they take claim for what other organisations do. We got one certain organisation up here that is renowned for taking claim for what other people do, basically on a weekly basis.
I mean, you just hope they're going to do better. But again, like I said, they just constantly disappoint. I wish it was different, but unfortunately, it's never going to be. And it was funny to watch organisations put shit on, the National Shooting Council going, oh, that's not going to work. That's a waste of time. Why would you do that? Well, what are you doing? I mean, seriously, an organisation that's doing nothing, putting shit on an organisation, at least trying. I mean, what sort of argument is that? The worst kind of argument you could possibly think of, having a go at someone for at least trying.
I do think we could actually have an episode on the how bad the organisations are. I think a lot of people have a lot of views and a lot of stories. So Nick Lass, especially when criminals are caught, they're given a slap on the wrist, but they don't throw the book at they throw the book at legal gun owners. Exactly, they just get away with things. They don't want to put them in jail because the jails are blocked up so bad. They don't want to do that at all. So we get more, being gun owners, we get more harsher penalties than a criminal does. And the courts have to get tougher on true criminals. That's what that really does have to happen.
Here we go. What time are you up to, Aaron?
7:37.
Oh, I got one here from My Time to Shine. He said, I owned my first handgun for almost a year before the registration paper showed up in the mailbox. Would that mean my handgun was unregistered during this time? Oh, mate, it's possible. We know registries, they're I mean, it's normal that human error is going to take place. And I noticed on that New South Wales Dealers Association where they're talking about the online system, I mean, they're putting the onus now back onto the gun shops. So let's say there's a human error. They put the wrong details in. Something gets missed. A gun goes missing. Who do you think is going to be responsible? So what they've done is they're not going to pay the dealers to do all this work. They just expect them to do it because, if you don't do it, stiff shit, well then, bad luck, you don't run your gun shop. So if something gets put in that's incorrect, if a gun goes missing, who do you think is going to be responsible? Before, the onus was on them sending them the paperwork, and then it was up to them whatever they did. From there, who do you think is going to be responsible if a gun goes missing and it's put in incorrectly by a gun shop? Of course, the gun shop. What is if you have 2 or 3 issues in a month and they go, listen, you're making too many mistakes, we're going to shut you down. I mean, this is again. And then you had the SSAA behind Scott Morrison saying, yeah, they applauded these changes about being able to see who's got what gun on a national federal level. So again, you got the SSAA in essence agreeing with basically a federal gun register. I mean, are we surprised? I mean, honestly, these people just piss me off to no end. I wish they would just shut up and just be a gun range, for fuck's sake. I mean, I can't even stop thinking about it sometimes because I have to, because they just frustrate me no end. Constant failure, week in and week out.
Yep, exactly. Yep. Exactly. Here's one, Dave. I'm thinking about moving to Texas due to the less restrictive gun laws. It is just north of New South Wales. Yep, good stuff. Get up here. I definitely think all gun owners should be living up here in New South Wales. I I think we should be like a prisoner swap sort of a thing. You can take all the hippies and anti-gunners, and we'll just take all the shooters up here.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be just have an awesome state that, lowered taxes for people, brought in businesses to work in the state, bringing in jobs, removing onerous gun laws? I mean, wouldn't it be a great state to live in? And then people actually say, you know what, I'd love to live in New South Wales, or I'd love to live in Queensland because they're all about business. They're all about personal freedom. But no, the government only wants to give you, people talk about going to a republic, and I'm like, I was pro that years ago, but now I'm like, you think the government's going to give you any more rights? Hell no. They're going to give you less rights. So better the devil you know than the one that you don't.
If we become a republic right now, man, they would just strip us of everything. It'll be a left-wing bill of don'ts. That's all it'll be.
Yeah.
You got anything else here, Jace?
No, we might have to hit the rapid fire running at 7:37 and we're at 8:20.
Oh, Jesus. Okay, once again, we do apologise, guys. We have missed some good questions because of the glitch. So, okay, we'll do a fast one. Darren Harvey. It doesn't matter how fast you can shoot a gun, you still have to aim every shot to hit something. Yes, you do. Yep, and that's what people understand. Semi-autos are only about the speed of a bolt action if you're actually aiming. So it's not like it's a rapid-fire gun.
Maybe you should tell the New South Wales police that so they can learn how to shoot instead of shooting innocent bystanders like they did in Hornsby a couple of years ago. They shot a couple of old ladies, then go, oh, it's a ricochet. I'm like, yeah, just like the Link Cafe was a ricochet. Man, you guys have a lot of ricochets, man. You have a lot of ricochets.
Exactly. Considering the legal distance for the distance for competitions for shooting handguns onto steel is 7 meters, and you don't get ricochets. It's 7 meters.
I know guys that for 30 years and never had it. Yet one police officer shoots someone, apparently it ricochets off the waterfall and hits 2 old ladies. Funny how you've never heard of them since because they got a big fat payout, mate.
Exactly. Just like the guy in the Swingers Club that got shot in the back by SWAT.
In the gut, actually, didn't he? In the guts. Hang on. I'm sure Aaron's dropped out there for a second. Sorry, go ahead, mate. You dropped out for a second.
Okay. Yeah, no, I think he was shot in the back, but in the gut area, but through the back.
Not about that's you're going to get shot while you're getting a BJ to get shot. You prefer just to get the BJ and not get shot, but
yeah, exactly. Don't put a damper on the night and the festivities. Chris, is there anyone or any group doing anything about multiple categories? If you can have a rifle, why can't you have a handgun? Well, you can have a handgun, but yeah, multiple categories, completely useless. Should be, if we're going to have these stupid licenses, license the shooter, not the firearm, and people have whatever they want.
Yep, agreed. Good one there from Kung Fu Chief again. Just under that.
Yep. Is airsoft legal in Australia? You can order them here off Amazon, shipped to your house.
Don't do that.
No, no. Well, they're not legal they're only legal in 2 states, but highly restrictive in those 2 states, South Australia and Queensland.
Hang on. No, we're talking about airsoft. We're talking about airsoft.
Oh, airsoft. Oh, I thought.
No, don't do that. Don't get them. Oh, no. Don't get them imported to your house, mate. Otherwise, you'll have the cops on your doorstep. Yeah, like Aaron's been saying, should be legal. Great sport, played in like 78% of the countries around the world. Fantastic sport, just like paintball, mate. Should be legal. Again, stupidity. I can own a 50 cal BMG, but I can't shoot little plastic balls in a fun sport. I think they said years ago, Aaron, though, it was going to be a breeding ground for terrorists. That's why they weren't going to allow it. I mean, oh, yeah, exactly. So why wouldn't they just play paintball if that's the case? I mean, again, stupid governments.
Well, that's what they're saying about gel blast as well. Sorry, I was mixed up. I was just reading a gel blaster question because from Nick here, it's because gel blasters is semi-auto. That's what they're saying it is. Yeah, completely ridiculous. Jesus, we've got some questions. Okay, sorry.
We didn't think it was good. We thought we'd be talking to about 5 or 6 people for the first 2 years. So it's much better than we thought it was going to be. So great news.
Yeah. Yep.
What do we got
Okay.
there?
A lot of talking amongst the guys.
What about these?
Geez, there's a lot of talking.
There's so many. You guys are talking. Looks like you're getting on well in the chat too, which is good to see.
Here we go. Dexter Hicks, talking of tribunals, will WAPOL be forced to repel 8 gun reclassifications if the tribunal decides in the NSC favour? Well, they'd have to, but didn't they say something about the case of gel blasters in New South Wales were deemed toys, and the police said, "Oh no, we're not going to take notice of that."
That was the Brad Towner case, remember, from Armoured Heaven. And I think I might even stay tuned, because I got a call from his lawyer a couple of weeks ago, and I think we're gonna do a breakdown on the podcast of that court case and how they won. And everyone knows he won in 26 minutes, so great result. But again, they don't take note of that result. Just keep charging people because what do you expect from grubby politicians and grubby police that just want to lay charges against people? Like I said, they got endless amounts of funds to bankrupt you. Never forget that.
Yep, exactly.
Let me say one thing on that too, on the NSC things very quickly. What the police try and do is they want to get it out of the tribunals. They want to get it out to the courts because they know it's going to cost NSC and other organisations that do decide to do this a lot of money. So they want to get it to the Supreme Court. If it goes to the Supreme Court, it's going to cost hundreds of thousands of dollars, which they don't care how much money they spend. That's why they want to get them out of the tribunals and say you have no jurisdiction to hear this case. It needs to go to court. And that's why they do it, because they know, right, that they don't want the tribunals to have a say on the situation. They want to get it into court because then it costs a lot of money, and they know we may not have the money to spend on that sort of thing. So,
yeah, yep, exactly. There's also about the air guns. Also in the UK, there is no need for a license at all for air guns where the pellet power is 12 feet of pounds per or less. So that's another thing. Airsoft need a license. Paintball need a license for a paintball gun or a paintball marker, they're actually called. That is so dumb. And you can't, even if you have a license for your category A for the paintball marker, I don't think you can still take it to, you can't shoot on private land. You've got to go to a paintball club. It's just, the whole thing's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
It looks familiar, that photo, Silver 16. I'm not sure if that's Michael. So hello, Michael, if that's you.
Yep. Okay, as we said, we bring out some super chats, but we have missed a few. Thank you for that, Ibrahim. What if no one handed in the 1996? We did talk about that, but thank you so much for your super chat, and thank you for everyone that has supported the show.
Last 10 minutes, mate. We're going to go rapid fire, super rapid fire.
Yeah.
So let's have a look at what we've got here. We've got a lot of questions, guys, a lot of talking in the chat, so it's been great to
There you go, Jace.
Nick Glass, I think the best idea is that guns need to be treated according to risk. We should remove registration for Cat A and B. Cat C and D should be opened up to regular gunners but require rego. Listen, if that's what they did, I'd be okay with that so long as they allow it. Let's just get them first and then deal with the rest later, just like suppressors. Same thing. Get the suppressors, deal with the registration later. If they want to register them, okay, I don't approve of it, but if that's how we get them, let's do that and deal with it later.
Yep. Okay, so Kung Fu must be over in the land of the free. A full auto AR-15 is $20K or $30,000. The stamp is $200. Yep. So I don't really see criminals here. Even if we could, why can't we have full auto? If you're paying that sort of money, no criminal is going to pay that sort of money to get a full auto when they can just get an illegal gun and with a file turn it to full auto. So, yep.
Oh, Matt E with the super chat. Jason for PM. Thanks, man. I think I'd be a good PM, wouldn't I?
Yeah, and I'd want to be the...
One thing, if I was representing your interests in Parliament, I assure I wouldn't be rolling over on absolutely anything or telling people that, you shouldn't have semi-autos and things like that, because I don't believe in that sort of thing. I believe in what I believe in, and I can make the case. I've been on the radio heaps of times. You can go on the YouTube channel, find all that. I don't back down because I know the stuff. I know what I'm saying. I went head-to-head with Samantha Lee, if people don't know, from Gun Control Australia on Triple J Hack. So if you want to know that, just send me a link and or email AustralianHuntingPodcast@gmail.com, or go onto my YouTube channel and you can hear me having a go at Samantha Lee on Triple J Hack. That was a good day. So, and gave her a good bit of what for. So,
yeah, thank you for the super chat, Jason. I really appreciate it. Here you go, Jace.
Jason,
Oh,
you idiot.
Matt. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, John McCosker. Some states have banned the Ruger precision rifle because of folding stock. Yep, New South Wales, for an example. Does the SCA chassis with the folding stock have the same bans in place, mate? If it's a folding stock, you can't have it. But I think they do a fixed. You can speak to Demir from Southern Cross Small Arms. I think they do a fixed stock. So,
yeah, well, the Ruger Precision will never be legal down there because you need to fold the stock to take the bolt out. But you can get it for the 22 LR version of the Ruger Precision. You can have it because you don't need the bolt taken out, and they pin the stock for you to have it, which is only a plastic pin, I think, something like that. Yep, and the Southern Cross small arms chassis are awesome. You'll see that very soon on my new gun. And there is a review I put out on the chassis, which is fantastic. Okay.
And you should have your gun pretty soon too.
Okay. I hope people haven't been getting up, old lever. Guys, in case anyone gets triggered by any of my comments that Aaron and Jason read, just understand that my understanding is alternative to what we have now. I would love to have limited access. Good stuff. Yep, and I hope no one has been getting up each other. Everyone deserves their say, and we don't want any infighting when we do these podcasts, these live streams.
Yeah. Always remain respectful, guy. We might disagree on some things, but we want to show you maybe a different way, maybe a different alternative view, and see if you agree with that. And a lot of people just believe what they've read, they believe what they've seen in the paper. But when you actually look at the facts and you take the emotion out of it, you see that I can debate this any day of the week, and I've done it a lot on the show. I've done it on radio. But again, they always want to come back to America. I mean, look at Brazil. Brazil's had a fantastic result. They used to have a lot of deaths, like something like 59,000 deaths in 2015. I mean, Johan Bolsonaro, within 6 months of going into office, reduced gun crime by 25%, opened up concealed carry, opened up importation of firearms into Brazil. Fantastic. Gun crime down and homicide down by 25%. I mean, he's obviously right-wing. They don't take any shit. So is it just about the gun laws? No. But a rounded approach of multiple areas sees a result drop in homicide of 25%, even by opening up concealed carry and the importation of firearms into Brazil. Well done. Great news.
Exactly. We've got another super chat from Imbram. $7.99. Thank you very much. A bit off topic. Is Remington core lock a dirty round? My clean rifle got visible copper fouling after 5 rounds. Is that normal? Some rounds are. I don't know exactly about the Remington core lock, but some rounds are quite dirty. But I do find Remington core lock not to be exactly the most accurate rounds that you can buy. So, I'm not 100% sure on that if it is classed as a dirty round. You had any experience with it, Jason?
Nah, just Remington's not doing too well at the moment with their bankruptcy again. So,
yep.
You do.
And here's another complete failure from the registry. In South Australia, they are making us do a self-audit and upload online. Why am I required to do the registry's job for them? What are your views on this? Oh, you got to do it because they fucked up and something major has gone wrong, and you're there to fix their problems free of charge. And basically, they won't tell us
what they have on their registry. So now you've got to clean up the mess and you need to tell us what you've got. Basically, they fucked up. They don't know what guns they've got, and they need to do a self-audit because they've totally screwed up. Whether they've lost part of their database, you can just tell by what they're asking you to do. Complete, utter failure. Week in, week out.
Oh, no, that is absolutely. They're even asking, I remember reading the form, they're asking any distinguishing marks on your gun. For Christ's sake, that is just getting over the top.
It's a gun, man. It's got a wooden stock. Yeah, it's got it's blued. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah.
Right. You've got probably 2 to 3 minutes, man, to hit it hard before we finish off. Let's just do a triple rapid.
Okay. So you read them. I'll go through them.
What is the time PDA Queensland these days, Aaron, for you?
Normally around a week. You don't wait much longer because we're on the computer system. There you go.
If the cops shoot at you, stand still and you are safe.
Yep, exactly. I've seen that at the pistol range of them shooting. They can shoot everything apart from the target, from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Okay, a lot of them is actually just talking. I'll just go down.
What have we
Jeez, a lot
got
of.
here? A lot of guys just talking, having a good time. Semi-automatics. We've got.
I'm just racing right down.
You guys are also with some of the comments.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Reading here.
Happy Hunter. I would like to see self-defense laws change to allow the use of non-lethal rounds, rubber pellets, and shotgun shells, or maybe rock salt. Well, I guess if we can get that in, that's a very good start, I dare say. So I guess something is better than nothing. Yeah, rubber bullets can still do real bad damage. The police are instructed never to shoot rubber bullets anywhere apart from a torso because they can kill you if they're shot in the eye. But yes, mate, it's a start. If we could have something like that, it's a start, isn't it, Jace?
There's a good one down about 5 or 6. Steve Balakas. Is it Balakas? He says gun laws empower criminals. Mate, it's true. I'll tell you one reason why. One reason. When you ban guns, you create a massive, massive black market of a legal firearms trade. When you ban something and it becomes prohibited, it becomes worth a lot of money. Therefore, you create an underground a business of trading in firearms, selling firearms. They're worth a lot of money, just like drugs. If you make these legal tomorrow, they're not worth anything. People are less likely to trade in them because they're not worth anything. So things that are banned create a black market for criminals to continue to make a lot of money off the black market, selling and trading in firearms. So yeah, just creates an underground black market of firearms trading.
Yep. Okay, so
probably one more, mate, and then we're going to finish off, I think, because we're getting to 8:35.
Yep, definitely. Okay, right down the bottom.
One sec, we've got
Caveman.
we go that one first. Everyone hit the like button.
Yeah.
Just one thing, we've got the super chat from Explosive Bagara. He said, "Send me some stickers, Jay, so I can slap them on my ute." Okay, I will, but only. I've got one only criteria for you. You have to send me photos of them on your ute. So email me at australianhuntingpodcast@gmail.com, and I'm actually going to do it tonight because I'm sending them out tomorrow, mate. I'm going for a run to the post office. So give me your address and I'll send them out to you.
Yep, definitely. Well, we've come down to the bottom.
Send me photos.
Well, we've gotten down to the bottom now. Oh, we've got another super chat. Awesome. Thank you so much, Explosive, for that. And Cracker again. Thanks again for the info and entertainment, guys. I look forward to the next show. Well, we look forward all week to actually doing these shows. You guys are great. Thank you so much for the super chats and supporting the show. As you can see, everything does go back into the show with the microphones I just brought and the chair. And so I really, really do appreciate it. And I do feel I'm going to have to buy Jason a present sometime very soon for helping us out with everything. He's really stepped up and been a great part of the show.
What do you think you should get me, guys? You reckon you should get me a nice scope? What do you think? Let us know in the comments.
An eBay special.
A Lynx Optics or something, you know what I mean? One of the cheaper ones, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Or maybe that
my taste in now has gone up, so you know I got expensive taste now. So
yeah, I'm just expecting an invoice to come in the mail any day from you. So once again, guys, I really do think we could do a part 2 on this. I really do. And I really do apologize if we didn't get to your question, or once again, we had the glitch. We just have so many questions and it just jumps past them if we get too many. We literally get hundreds of questions every night. We can't sit here all night, but hey, we're going to be
one right at the bottom. We just got a super chat from Adrian. Put Chris's up first. Chris Miller. That's an awesome one. Yep. Third last. Chase should run a live stream and get all the profit.
Yeah, we'll get rid of that one. Okay, Adrian. Well done, lads.
What up?
Well done, lads. Good chat. Keep going. Thank you very much, Adrian. Really do appreciate that. I did have one here from Patreon that I will read from Dave because he did ask a lot of questions and we missed it. Hey, Aaron, I use a Dillon 650 and I keep the powder measure half full most of the time. Am I supposed to empty out the powder when I'm finished, or is it okay to leave it in there? It's a pain to unload and reload every time. What's your thoughts? Well, they do reckon if moisture gets in there, it's not good.
Yeah. And same thing when you're reloading too, and you're storing powders and that too. You're supposed to take them out, and man, so many restrictions that just don't mean anything. Like someone's going to come into my house, go to my reloading Lyman or RCBS powder throw, and go, "Oh, hang on, there's a bit of powder in there. Let me just scoop that out so I can go and make some ammunition with whatever's in your powder hopper." So stupid.
Yeah, I'm not going to worry about the TV, but Jesus, there's some gunpowder here.
Hang on, there's 100 grams of gunpowder in this hopper. Hang on, let me just scoop it out. Scoop. Come on.
Yep, exactly. So I really do think we're going to have to do a part 2 on this, and maybe a part 3 by the looks of it.
Yep.
But I really, really appreciate everything, guys. So does Jason, I'm sure. So it's just awesome. Every week we can't believe how many more we got. We've got our second biggest show so far. At 117, went up to like 120 or 130.
Just do those couple of last ones. Bring them up quickly. There's a couple of good ones about me there. Funky Monkey. He says Jason should host a stream. And then you've got...
Well, Jason basically has hosted it tonight. He's done all the talking. What are you talking about?
Control the buttons, but Aaron won't let me. Then you got Stephen Worthy. Just click on that one, Aaron. Top show, boys. Keep it up. And another good one from Chris Miller. I'm surprised he didn't ban me. Because he said start, he should what did he say, start my own live stream and I should get the profits. Yeah, damn right, Chris, you're right. But,
hey, I gave him lots of ammo and I fed him and everything when he comes up here.
Yeah, true.
Food and board.
That's true. He did make me some chips and some like packaged chicken, so I guess I can't really complain. Top quality food when you're up there, mate.
And you did give all of us food poisoning by buying that KFC, remember?
Yeah, we did too. We burn our rings out, guys. Like, oh man, we were just like shitting through the eye of a needle. It was terrible.
Yes. So thanks for the salmonella. That was great.
Anyway, hey, last one from Explosive. He bought a Saulan Pac-12.
Oh, good stuff. I hope you like it. Very good gun. Very smooth and nice. I hope you bought it because of my review, because it's always good when people do that. Yeah. So, well done.
Anyway,
you're going to have a lot of fun with that.
Good show. It's been a good show. It's been, it's been a good part of. We weren't sure what this was going to be, but Matt's picking up and just building every single week. And, we're thinking we might have been, Aaron, we're talking about last night, we might even do, maybe probably not this time, but maybe towards Christmas, if I'm not away on holidays, we'll do like a super special where we'll go like twice a year or something. We'll go, for however long we do the stream, maybe a 2 or 3 hour show as a special, maybe 2-3 times a year we'll do a special. Maybe start of Christmas or around Christmas time, and then maybe the middle of the year and stuff like that. So I think that'll be good. And Phantom's giving you the super chat. Read that one out, mate. We'll finish off.
Love the torch review. I did a funny torch review that you can go and see on the channel a week or so ago. It was just a bit of a piss take, bit of fun. That's what the channel's all about, having fun. So thank you very much, Phantom, for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Every cent helps. And you guys, we always say you guys are the best. But yes, Jason, I do think we should get a full, like a 3 hour one or something one time, a couple of times a year. It'll be good. And if you're ever allowed to come up to Queensland again, we could do a live one out in the field or at home here. Oh, geez, another one. Exotic, $5. Good show, Cobbers. My stepdad is an avid hunter and loves your shows. He holds the world record for shooting grass bunny off on his veranda. Cool. Thank you very much for that. Really appreciate it. That's awesome. And say hello to your dad from us.
Yeah.
So we will wrap this up. We've gone for 1 hour and 45. And thank you very much for everything again, guys. Really, really appreciate it all. So you guys have a great, safe week. There is a review coming out tomorrow. It's actually a long distance review. So that'll be coming out tomorrow afternoon. So please, and I've made a little funny video that you can go and have a look at. I will upload it on my Facebook page in about 5 minutes. So go take a look at that on my Facebook page. You'll see a video I made today because, as you know, I don't like PC and woke companies and people. So I slapped together a little video. So I can't put it on YouTube, unfortunately, because they'll ping me for the music. So, guys, have a great week and a safe weekend. Hope you all get some trigger time in, and we'll see you same place, same time next week. Thank you.